This is pretty self-explanatory. When you stay at his head, you do more damage, and he also is less likely to do certain moves that do a lot of damage and are harder to dodge. After every string of attacks, he generally puts his head down where you can get in at least one, but usually 2 attacks. You don't need to do more, and if you do more, you'll probably end up getting hit. Especially on a regular new game, if you have a big enough weapon or you've scaled correctly, generally these 2 hits are going to whittle his health down pretty fast. He still has a big health pool, so it's not going to be like the fastest thing in the world. And finally, a lot of his attacks are actually easier to dodge if you lock off and just run away, or if you go ahead and, while staying locked on, run instead of trying to dodge. Especially his fire and laser attacks, because you want to position yourself where they won't hit you. You're going to get there faster by just holding down the run button and using your stamina to get to where you need to be. The first part of this video is going to be me trying, probably failing, but trying to narrate some of his attacks. I don't think I got exactly every single one of them because a lot of them are just random claw slashes and slams or whatever, but I'm going to try to show a few of his attacks, the tells, and where to position yourself or how to get out of the way of it. He's a really easy fight actually to do without taking a hit once you've learned all of his tells. It really is just a matter of keeping up the stamina because he has such a large health pool. So first things first, if you have died in the fight, you fall down, he will always start with the exact same attack, which is what I call his temper tantrum. And if you just stand still, he cannot and will not hit you. So this is one of his pretty common combo attacks. They aren't all exactly like this, but they are some sort of slash, a couple times back and forth. Just keep dodging behind, and then as you see, he kind of puts his head down at the end, and you can get a hit in. Sometimes you kind of have to sprint and run up to get it. In this video I didn't, but you can just run up there and hit him once or twice. If you're a little bit more passive like I am, then you're not going to be able to do that. And then as you see, the other attack in this clip, he rears up on his back leg and he goes straight for you. And then I will show an image, or a video rather, of what happens if he does get you with that big grab attack. And basically he just grabs you and flambés you. You can survive this attack. It actually doesn't do that much health. This clip is just me wearing very little armor and a New Game 4, but it's actually usually does about 3/4 of your damage, depending on how you're spec'd. This is his dash attack. He will telegraph it by putting his head down and kind of backing up and then running forward. Just dodge through it. It seems a little bit late and a little bit like it's going to hit you, but if you just dodge into him when it looks like he would hit you, you'll be fine. The biggest thing to remember is that he does not like it when you are underneath him. So if you dodge under him and stay there, he'll probably do what he did in this clip and follow up with a downwards flame breath. Just run away from it. This is his tantrum attack. It's the same attack that he starts every fight with, including the very first fight. It's just that in the very first fight, you have to trigger him by running up. So it might be a little bit more difficult to dodge out of the way. I simply lock off and run to the side. You can absolutely dodge through it, and it's actually a little bit more forgiving than you would realize, but locking off and running to the side is a lot safer. The biggest thing to remember is that at the very end, and you might not see this because you're running to the side, he does a claw swipe that has a little bit of a wider hitbox than you might realize. This attack was the bane of my existence when I was learning the fight. I thought it was completely undodgeable and I would always get hit by the fire. He will leap into the sky and fly over you while breathing fire. And in order to dodge it, in the immortal words of Beyonce, just go to the left, to the left. If you run to the left, it absolutely won't hit you. I usually do kind of an arc, so that I run in a circle and then I kind of meet him at his head. Just be careful if he's close to the edge of the arena, he could land on you, which in and of itself doesn't do damage, but it puts you in a bad spot. A lot of his combo attacks can have the option to throw fire in at the end. You can tell he's going to do this because he kind of throws his head to the side and then he will breathe the fire. The side that his head goes to depends on where you are. So if you are on his left side, he will breathe fire on his right side and vice versa. So if you are facing him, just go to the opposite side that his head is breathing the fire on, and then just kind of arc and beat up his head to deal your damage. He has lasers in both his first and second phase, and both of them can absolutely one-shot you. They're both telegraphed really well. In the first phase, he will stand up straight and then arc his neck and breathe fire directly down and then follow up with 1.5 laser beams. The goal here is to get to him as he is letting his laser out. So in order to do that, you need to run in a circle around the fire, and then as he begins his laser, you need to close the distance and run it to him. It can go on either side. I tend to go on the left, but you can run around in a circle on either side. Part of this is definitely just getting the time down of when you can actually run through the rest of the flames, but it is a little bit more forgiving than you would realize. There can still be quite a bit of flames on the ground, and you can still run. If you do get hit by the flames, don't get up, because if you get up, you're going to dodge yourself into the laser attack. So just try to stay on the ground as long as you can if you get hit by the lasers. Phase 2 happens at half health. It starts with him drawing in darkness and then letting it out as an AoE. Just get away from this and then close the distance back again. It hurts if you get hit by it, and it's not easy to dodge, and so just getting away from him. He can buff himself multiple times throughout the second phase of the fight, and it's telegraphed the exact same, where he kind of draws in the darkness and then lets it out as an AoE. He has 2 attacks in phase 2 that summon little humanities sprites. The first one is telegraphed with a slam into the ground, and then he roars and they come out. And then the second one is telegraphed by a single jump backwards, which is important to note for a reason we will discuss later. And then he roars, spreads his wings, and they come out of the ground. I usually just run from these guys. You can dodge them. I find them the most annoying part when you're trying to do a hitless run, because one of them will inevitably hit you in your toe or something. They don't really do that much damage. If you get hit by them, just wait until he gives you the next opportunity to attack him and just use that time to heal instead. They don't really do that much damage, but they are a little bit annoying, and they can kind of stun you and set you up to get hit by another attack. You can see in this clip as well that he's doing a tantrum, and so a little note on this, a lot of the attacks in phase 2 are the same, including the tantrum. However, he will throw 2 tantrums whenever he does this attack, so he'll go across the arena, then turn around and do it again across the arena. It's the exact same attack, and you deal with it the exact same way. You can either dodge through it if you want, or just unlock and run to the side. Just know that he's going to do it twice, and just make sure you have a good awareness of where you are in the arena, so you're not squished up against the wall and he can hit you. And now we come to his laser attack in phase 2. It's very infamous, it's really good at killing you, and it's really difficult and annoying to dodge, unless you know how to dodge it. It is telegraphed by 2 jumps back, not 1 like we saw in the previous clip, although, because it's such a dangerous attack, if you see him jump at all, I would dodge as if it is this attack. So in order to deal with this attack, what you're going to do is you're going to run directly at him as fast as you can, as soon as you see him start to jump back. You need to be underneath him, and when you are underneath him, he absolutely can't hit you with his lasers. There are a couple that can be a little bit close to the outside of him, so make sure you're in the middle underneath him, because you don't want to get hit by the explosion on the sides. But if you're underneath him, you won't get hit. He will lay down for a decent amount of time, so if you can see and position yourself, you can get quite a few hits in, but it's more important not to get hit by him than it is to get 1 or 2 extra hits in. The rest of this video is me showing a fight I recorded. I believe every single move he can do is in this fight. That's why it's so long. It's about 10 minutes long. That and it's new game 4 or 5, so he has the world's largest health pool. And so basically I'm hoping that it'll get every move that I didn't go over individually, because a lot of them are very similar. It's just about dodging backwards until he gives you a chance to hit. And I'll give little tidbits that I think as I go through. So if that's helpful, enjoy. So like previously stated, you don't have to move when you fall down. He'll just do his little temper tantrum and go about his business. I always have problems with the camera at this point. I don't really care, but it could be a little frustrating. Just as you run through he kind of messes with the camera. It's kind of a theme in this fight, is that the camera can be annoying. Sometimes it randomly locks off. You just kind of get used to it, I guess. He can be dodged completely without actually dodge rolling. You can just walk backwards. I haven't actually done it. But you can do that. And see here, I saw that he was going to go that direction, so I went the opposite direction. Part of that's just kind of, I've done this fight so many times that I'm so used to it now. I'm playing very passively in this attack, or rather this video, because I'm trying to make sure I get film of all of the different attacks. But you can play a bit more aggressively and be safe. Also, if you don't miss as much as me, that's helpful as well. And see there, that's his little claw swipe. I just wasn't aggressive enough about running away. It's important to be aware of the arena. So his arena is a circle. It's pretty large, but since you're constantly moving with him, you're going to run into the borders eventually. So just making sure you know where you are in position is going to be helpful. Sometimes I kind of go in a circle as I'm dodging, so I'm not dodging straight back, I'm kind of dodging to the side. And then here you see that since I was underneath him, he got a breath attack straight down to try to get me off of him. So if you stay underneath him, like a lot of people do because they're scared to hit the big giant bitey head, you're going to get those breath attacks more because he is programmed to do them if you're underneath him, but they don't do them as much if you're right in front of him. But see here, we are at the edge of the arena, and I'm very aware of that, so I'm going to kind of be working our way back towards the middle of the arena, except in this video I'm not, but I would be. He does have a tail swipe. Since I'm always staying towards the top of his head, I almost never get affected by it. It's usually at the end or when you're right behind it, and it's just like any other dragon tail swipe. Just, if you see it happening, dodge over it. There's not really a tell, except being behind him will trigger it, but he doesn't have like a big tell before doing it. Also, as he turns around by the end of his tantrum or his dodge, that can also hit you. That has a hitbox as well. So right here, he can do a tail swing. He doesn't, but it would be the time he could do it. He has a variation of that attack, which is not very common, where he breathes fire. Well, rather than that attack, he'll have a variation where he breathes flames straight out and then to the side. It's not really common. This might be it right here. It's not. But if you get that, just dodge the flame as it goes, run to the side, and then of the straight flame pillar, and then just whatever side he cocks his head to, go to the opposite side. And I'm sure it's pretty obvious. I'm doing this without a script. Please make fun of me in the comments if you so wish. So we're about to go into phase 2. Just get away from this. He will lose this kind of dark flamey stuff around his wings as the fight goes on, and when that happens, he will rebuff himself. If you're really aggressive, it doesn't happen very often. If you're less aggressive, like I am in this playthrough, it'll happen a couple of times. Most of the attacks in phase 2 are exactly the same. They just either have small variations, like he does them twice, or sometimes it feels like maybe he's doing them a little bit faster back to back, or maybe there's some sprites flying around, which can complicate things as well, because now you're trying to dodge those little guys. You can see I ran into one right there, and another one, but yeah. And then here I am running as fast as I possibly can to get up underneath him. It's a very stressful attack, and I have definitely run into that laser beam many a times when I didn't place myself correctly. So about here would be a good idea to run up and try to get that free hits into him. You do want to be careful of his little last laser beam, but when you've got the timing down, you can be a little bit more aggressive. Occasionally his AI gets a little confused and he'll kind of like go on tantrum elsewhere. It's also why some people will recommend, me included, not summoning for this fight. He can kind of split his aggro between the two players. Plus you're increasing an already very large health pool. If you're a magic user, it's a bit more helpful because you can stand in the background while the melee takes on the aggro. But if you're a pure melee user, and you summon another pure melee user, just know that it could make the fight a lot more difficult, but and there I got knocked by the tail, which does a lot of damage, so try not to get hit by that. One jump back so we know it's not his big laser beam attack. And generally he will rebuff after this one. I don't know if it's 100%, but it's usually pretty common. He also does better if you actually hit him with your attacks, as I am failing to do. And then, you know, get stuck in the camera while you're recording a video to put on the internet. When you get to about this health, he'll do this, and you can critical him. I don't, because I'm not ready for the fight to end. But that's that. I hope this was at least a slightly helpful video. And if not, well, keep that to yourself, I guess.